and welcome to Razz Reviews. This video is part of my Oscar special where I'm going to be reviewing this year's best film nominees. And today I'm going to be reviewing Fences. Fences is a film adaptation of the play by the same name directed by Denzel Washington himself. And it's the story of Troy, who's a working class father in the 1950s trying to raise his family and trying to deal with his own personal demons. I really loved the trailer for this movie and it was one of my favorite trailers of last year. It was really powerful. So I was excited to see this movie and I can honestly say that it was not disappointing. I really enjoyed Fences. It was a very loyal adaptation of the play. It actually felt like you're watching a play the whole time, which was a very interesting experience. Now I'm going to talk about the top 3 things that I liked about Fences. Number 3. Character development. This movie is very unique in the way that it dealt with its characters and how it introduced them to the audience. It's a dialogue-heavy film. You learn everything you need to learn from the conversations between the different characters, and from that conversation you learn about the characters themselves, who they are, what their personality is, and what their past is until this point. And it was a very interesting way to discover who these people are and to discover the story slowly. The most interesting part about this is the development of the main character of Troy. When we first meet him, he seems like this hard-working man with morals and values, and he's over the top and a little bit difficult to deal with because he's very opinionated and very aggressive, but at the same time you felt like he was a good person who was trying his best. However, bit by bit, the character changes and our impression of him changes because of the little things that get revealed. His demons, his sins, and his flaws start to come out, and it becomes very interesting to watch what he becomes in our eyes, and I thought that was really interesting and very powerful and effective. Of course, what sells this is Denzel Washington's performance. He does a great job at this movie. He is so good as this character. I felt like he was a real person the whole time and he was so fascinating to watch. You couldn't take your eyes off him. The number 2 thing I liked about Fences is the script. This is a powerful script, especially when it comes to dialogue. It's absolutely marvelous. It's like watching the Olympics of dialogue. The whole movie is literally just dialogue based. That's all. You just watch people talk. But it's so captivating and so powerful. There are so many layers. And the way that the scenes work out is that something happens, someone says something, and then everything changes. And you see those words and their effects on people and how these characters have these complex relationships with each other. And it's all done with how they talk to each other and what they say, and of course what they don't say. And I thought the play on the words in this film is so beautiful and fascinating to watch. I really enjoyed it. Of course, a large part of this has to be due to the script of the play itself, but I thought the transition from play to film is very successful because it's still powerful, it's still magnetic, and it was really nice to watch and listen to. The number 1 thing I liked about Fences was Viola Davis's performance. She's so good in this movie. I walked into this film thinking that it's gonna be the Denzel Washington show. It was not. I felt that she kind of stole the show from him in a couple of scenes, and that's an achievement. Her character is so emotional, she's so powerful, and she's unapologetic in her performance. It's visceral to watch her go through the range of emotions she goes through. She's really a mother, she's really a wife. I never felt like it was a performance. I felt her, I believed her, and I connected with her emotionally to a very high level. I think it's the best performance of her entire career, and she definitely deserves an Oscar for this, 100%. And now moving on to the top 3 things I didn't like about Fences. Number 3, the beginning. This movie doesn't have a great start because you're not used to sitting there and listening to people just talk for a long time. So it takes a long time for these characters to start popping and for you to understand the story and who they are and what they're talking about. So it has a very slow start and it doesn't really catch you or captivates you until later on. So I think it sells a movie short because it does get better. This could easily work for a play because when you're watching a play, you're watching real people on the stage talking and interacting. Real people are more captivating for you than people through a screen. When you're watching through a screen, we're used to things happening fast, we're used to exposition happening fast, and for us to understand what's going on right away. So when it takes a long time, it's a little bit off-putting. The number 2 thing I didn't like about Fences was a certain payoff. Certain plot developments that happened later get foreshadowed in the beginning and in the middle of the film. However, when they actually do happen, they weren't as strong as I would have liked them to be, so I kind of wish they were handled a little differently. I don't want to say more because I don't want to spoil the plot for you, but I just wish that these things were handled just a little bit better. The number 1 thing I didn't like about the movie was the performance by the actor who was playing Corey. Troy's son Corey is played by the actor Javon Adipo, and he's not a bad actor. It's a good performance. However, when it stands against the amazing performances by Viola Davis and Denzel Washington and everybody else, he kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. I mean, yes, at the end of the day, it's like putting a goldfish into a piranha tank and saying, why isn't it eating meat? The relationship between Troy and his son is one of the hearts of the movie, and it was a very important one. So when his acting was a little bit subpar in comparison, it kind of took away from that element, and it made it not as strong as I would have liked it to be. And that was my least favorite part of the film, his performance, because whenever he was on screen, I felt like he wasn't as strong as everybody else, and I felt the scene itself was not as strong as it should have been. All in all, I really liked Fences. I thought it was an emotionally captivating movie, but it's not for everyone because it's a little slow and again very dialogue heavy. If you're into theater, you might like it. If not, it might not be the film for you, but I thought it was a very good film and I'm gonna give it an 8. So, have you seen Fences? Are you curious? Let me know in the comment section what you thought, and as always, like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to tell me what you would like me to review for you next. See ya!